ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So here we are seeing the Supreme Lord. He personally comes to save the situation, and the Lord is speaking to the four great sages. Shri Bhagavan uvacha etau tau parshado mahyam jayo vijay evacha. These attendants of mine, Jaya and Vijaya, kadrathi kritya mam yadvo bahu akratam atikramam. Bahu means great. Akratam, they have committed. What have they committed? Atikramam, a great offense. So the Lord is recognizing that yes, because these great sages had no material desire, they had come only to see the lotus feet of mine. So by obstructing their devotional service, you have, by these attendants Jaya and Vijaya, they have created a great offense. And a very important word is used by the Lord, kadarthi kritya mam. By offending my great devotees, by offending great sages like you, what they have done, they have even neglected me. So this is very essential, because for the Lord, more than Him is His devotees. Actually, Jaya and Vijaya had only carried out their duty. The duty was their service to the Lord. But in the course of their duty, by mistake they committed this offense, where the great sages were not allowed to see the lotus feet of the Lord, even though they had no material desires. They only wanted to see the lotus feet of the Lord. So, by obstructing them, they committed a great offense, and the Lord is saying, by doing so, they have neglected me. So this is very important. Even though they were doing the service of the Lord, but because they had offended another devotee, so the Lord is saying, actually by offending those devotees, they have neglected me. So Prabhupada explains this. To commit an offense at the feet of a devotee of the Lord is a great wrong. And Prabhupada is another thing he is pointing out is, this chance of committing offense is there even in Vaikuntha Loka. Even in Vaikuntha Loka, there is freedom. And if we commit a mistake, then we have to be punished also. But a very important principle is, when we are engaged in the service of the Lord, if by chance we have committed a mistake and we are thoroughly repentant about our mistake, the Lord will protect us. So this is a very, very important dealings of the Lord with His devotee. That by chance the two doormen committed a mistake. They had no desire not knowingly, not out of pride. Oh, we are attendants of the Lord, who are you to come and see? It was not out of pride. It was out of ignorance, it was out of mistake, by chance. They had committed a mistake and they were very repentant. They were saying that yes, you are right in cursing us, we have committed an offense and we definitely, whatever is meted out, that curse, it was due to us. So that is okay. But the point is, the Supreme Lord protects His devotees. If by chance we have committed a mistake, just like if we see in the example of Maharaj Parikshit, unknowingly, by mistake, by miscalculation, he committed an offense to Shamik Rishi. He garlanded him with a dead snake. So it was not out of some kind of pride. It was out of genuine misunderstanding. He was thinking that as a king, when somebody comes, he should be respected. And he was thinking, now Kali Yuga has arrived. There is a good chance that people will pose themselves as saintly people to avoid certain duties. So thinking in that way, as a king, he wanted to give him a punishment. But later on he realized that probably it was a wrong act from my side and I have done a great offense at the feet of the great sage. So he was already contemplating while going back to his kingdom, and he was thinking that by the Lord's mercy, if I have committed an offense like this, I should also get some due, whatever is required punishment for this, whatever I have done, it should come to me. You see. So there was a genuine repentance in Parikshit Maharaj also. So this is very important. Knowingly we should not commit mistake. Unknowingly if we commit mistake, we should be repentant. Knowingly if we commit mistake, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains, it is Hathi Mata. It is like mad elephant offense. It is like loosening a mad elephant in your devotional service. It will destroy everything. But unknowingly, when we are engaged in the service of the Lord, by mistake we have committed an offense and we are repentant about it, Krishna will surely protect. So Prabhupada is saying here some very interesting thing. Prabhupada is saying, by mistake the doorman held the sages from entering Vaikuntha Loka. But because they were engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord, their annihilation was not expected by advanced devotees. So it was by mistake they held them at the door, and they were engaged actually in the transcendental service of the Lord. So their annihilation was not expected by advanced devotees. So there is no question that anybody would expect that by mistake somebody has done some offense or something, he should be discarded altogether from the service of the Lord. Or, they should be completely, their devotional service should be completely annihilated. No. The Lord gives protection. So that is what Prabhupada is saying. Even in Vaikuntha Loka, there is a chance of committing a mistake. But what happens the difference is, there because the devotees are completely engaged in the service of the Lord, they will be protected by the Lord. And Prabhupada says, even if by chance one commits an offense, he is protected by the Lord. This is the remarkable fact in the dealings of the Lord and the servitor. So this is a very remarkable fact, that even by chance his devotees have committed a mistake, the Lord protects his servitor, the Lord protects his devotees. So, Prabhupada is explaining about a very important aspect of the Lord. It is called Bhratya Vatsala. Bhratya means his servitors, his servants, or his devotees, those who are completely dependent on the Lord. They are called Bhratya. So he is very, not only is Bhakta Vatsala, he is called Bhratya Vatsala, one who is very favorable, one whose dealings with his servitors are very remarkable, very wonderful. So Prabhupada is giving an example here that how when the Lord came there, the presence of the Lord himself was very pleasing to everyone. Immediately everything became cooled down. The four sages also realized that actually they have unnecessarily cursed Jaya and Vijaya. They also had become already cooled down. It was very pleasing to them, and it was very pleasing to Jaya and Vijaya. So it was very pleasing to everyone. The Lord understood that the whole problem is this whole problem is created because they were very eager to see my lotus feet and they have been obstructed to see my lotus feet. So what should I do? I will personally go and I will give darshan to these great four sages. They don't have to take trouble to come inside. I will go outside and I will give them darshan. So Prabhupada explains, this is how the Lord arranges for his devotees. If there is some obstruction in his devotional service, if there is obstruction where the devotee is not able to get audience of the Lord removes the audience, the Lord removes the obstacle in such a way that if it is required for him to personally be present, the Lord gives him personal audience. You see, this is how. A great example which Prabhupada is giving in the purport is about Thakur Haridas. So, Haridas Thakur, he was one of the greatest of the devotees. He was called as Namacharya. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took sannyas and he was going to Jagannath Puri, so then Haridas Thakur said, "My dear Lord, now you are departing to Jagannath Puri. Then what is the use of my life? Better I will give up my life." So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Don't worry, you don't have to give up your life. You can accompany me to Jagannath Puri." So Haridas Thakur accompanied the Lord to Jagannath Puri. And every day the Lord would go to the sea, have his bath, and then he would go to see Jagannath. That was his daily routine. Every day the Lord would visit Jagannath and he would partake prasadam. But Haridas Thakur, even though he was Namacharya, he was one of the greatest of the devotees. So much so that a great personality, a very respectable personality like Advaita Acharya, he was very respectable personality. When there was a Shraddha ceremony in his house, and generally in the Shraddha ceremony, Brahmanas are fed. We all know about this. So, instead of feeding Brahmana, he said, "I want to feed Haridas Thakur." And Haridas Thakur, with humility, he was declining. He was saying that I am not a patra for this. I am not a suitable patra for receiving this Shraddha, Prasada, he said. It should be better given to elevated Brahmanas. Then Advaita Acharya said, "You are greater than millions of Brahmanas. By feeding you, it is greater than, by feeding a Vaishnava, a great Vaishnava like you, it is more than feeding millions of Brahmanas." So even Advaita Acharya had recognized this greatness of Thakur Haridas. But in spite of that, Haridas Thakur, he was very humble. He did not want to create some trouble or some scene. He knew that in Jagannath Puri in those times, it was not possible for a non-Hindu to enter in the temple of Lord Jagannath. So non-Hindus are not allowed. And he used to consider that I am actually born in a very, very low class family, in a Mohammedan family. So he used to consider himself very low. Similar was the case with Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. Even though they were here, we find he was born, Haridas Thakur was born in Mohammedan family. And even though Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, they were born in highly elevated Brahmana family, but because they had started associating with Mohammedans, they were working for them, they also took a very lower position. They used to think we are also not entitled. They would also not go and enter into Jagannath temple. Because they were thinking that by associating with them, we have become like them. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also did not want to, create some, scene by disturbing that social custom, whatever Jagannath temple was following. But the Lord did not deny darshan of Jagannath to Haridas Thakur. Every single day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu personally would go to Haridas Thakur. So, he told Kashinath Mishra that please make an arrangement for Haridas Thakur to stay. So, Haridas Thakur would stay in his house, in his hut. And every single day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after having darshan of Jagannath, he would take prasadam and he would send prasadam for Haridas Thakur. And personally, every single day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go and visit Haridas Thakur. So Prabhupada explains there, this is the greatness of Haridas Thakur. He did not have to go and take the trouble of seeing Jagannath. Lord Jagannath personally would come and see him every day and give him prasadam. So, seemingly it looked like an obstacle. He was not able to have audience of the Lord. He was not able to have darshan of the Lord. So, the Lord manages the situation in such a way that personally the Lord goes and gives audience. Just like here the Lord is doing. When he saw that these great sages are very eager to have my audience and somehow some obstacle has been created unknowingly by mistake, the Lord personally, not only he went, the Lord personally went with Mother Lakshmi. Prabhupada is saying Mother Lakshmi is not to be seen by ordinary people. But the Lord not only personally went with Mother Lakshmi, the Lord went to give audience to these great sages. This is how the Lord deals with his devotees, with his servants, those who are engaged in the service of the Lord. So, this is a very beautiful aspect of the Lord. Prabhupada explains this. Prabhupada says, the Lord understood the trouble was due to his lotus feet not being seen by the sages. Therefore, he wanted to please them by personally going there. So, a very important point which Prabhupada says, which is worth remembering. The Lord is so merciful that even if there is some impediment for the devotee, he himself manages matters in such a way that the devotee is not bereft of having audience at his lotus feet. And the most important point is he personally manages. The Lord is not getting it done through his agents. The Lord personally manages the things in such a way that the devotee is not bereft of his audience. So there also we find in Haridas Thakur's case, the Lord personally would go and give his darshan. So much so that the Lord, when he was visiting and he saw that Haridas Thakur has become very old and very weak, and then he was not able to complete his number of quota of rounds. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would request him that now you have become very old and weak. It is not required. You have to chant 3 lakh names of the Lord. Reduce that quantity, but he would not do so. He would not take even prasadam before completing his round. That was the vow Haridas Thakur had taken. And then finally, when he had become so weak, he made one request to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, "My dear Lord, I can understand that very soon you are going to wind off your pastimes in this material world. I do not want to remain after you have wound off your pastime. Better for me is, before you wind off your pastime, I want to give up this body in front of you, seeing you." So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "If this is your desire, then definitely your desire will be fulfilled." Next day Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and Haridas Thakur said, "My dear Lord, today I want to leave this body. Please be here, do not go away." And then right in front of, in Kirtana was going on, all the devotees were chanting and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was personally present. Haridas Thakur gave up that body. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he said, "This is not an ordinary body. Haridas Thakur's body is completely spiritual body." He took that body on his lap and personally the Lord took the body and he was dancing in ecstasy. Personally he dug up samadhi for Haridas Thakur at the, at that ocean beach. And then the Lord had brought special prasadam, special paraphernalia of Lord Jagannath. He placed all those paraphernalia in the samadhi of, and first of course the Lord bathed the body of Haridas Thakur and he said, "From today, because Haridas Thakur had his bath in this place, this ocean has also become a place of pilgrimage." So, even till today, we can visit that site where Haridas Thakur's samadhi is there. And then the Lord personally went door to door, shop to shop, to beg some alms so that he can feed Vaishnavas, he can feed devotees in, because of passing away of Srila Haridas Thakur, because it's not an ordinary event. Birth of a great devotee and passing away of a great devotee is not an ordinary event. So the Lord personally celebrated, personally begged the alms for such a great devotee like Haridas Thakur. So this is the dealings of the Lord with his pure devotees. So he is called as Bhritya Vatsala. There's a very nice, beautiful one explanation by Prabhupada in one of the purports. This is about Dhruva Maharaj. There Prabhupada explains this quality of Bhritya Vatsala of the Lord. What had happened? Dhruva Maharaj, he was not allowed to sit on the lap of his father because of his stepmother. So she refused. She said, "If you want to sit on your father's lap, you must be born from my womb. Otherwise it is not possible." So Dhruva Maharaj, he became very angry and he was crying in distress. Then he went and approached his mother, his own mother Suniti, and he expressed what all has happened. So in that, after hearing Dhruva Maharaj, Suniti tells him about the wonderful qualities of the Supreme Lord. So there she gives many examples that even your great-grandfather Brahmaji, even when he meditated on the Lord, he got the mercy of the Lord, by which he was endowed with the power of creation. So you should approach Supreme Lord. There is no use of approaching me. So she says, Tameva vatsa ashraya bhratya vatsalam. You are coming to my shelter to get this problem solved, but actually it is better to take shelter of the Supreme Lord, who is called Bhratya Vatsalam. So in that purport, Prabhupada explains what exactly Suniti is trying to tell Dhruva Maharaj, why he should approach the Supreme Lord. It's very beautiful. So Prabhupada says, in this connection, Queen Suniti advised her son that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is known as Bhritya Vatsala, which indicates he is very kind to his devotees. So she said, what is she meaning? Prabhupada is explaining in the purport. You came to me crying, having been insulted by your stepmother, but I am unable to do any good for you. So Suniti is saying, you have come to me crying, being insulted by your stepmother, but unfortunately you are thinking I am your mother, very affectionate to you, right? Because mother is actually very affectionate to the son. But she is saying, what to do? I am unable to do anything for you. But Krishna is so kind to his devotees. If you go to him, then combined kindness of millions of mothers like me will be surpassed by his affection and tender dealings. So great. She is saying, I am one mother, and you are thinking, you are coming to me because of my affection, you are thinking I will solve your problem. So she is saying, if you go and approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead, combined kindness of millions of mothers like me will surpass you. How? By affectionate and tender dealings of the Supreme Lord. Because mother deals with her son very tenderly, mother deals with her son very affectionately. So, Suniti is saying, if you approach the Supreme Lord, million times more affection, million times more tender dealings you will be able to get from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When everyone fails to mitigate one's misery, Krishna is able to help his devotee. Actually, unnecessarily, in ignorance, we expect affection, tender dealings, isn't it? From materialistic people of this world, from the people of this world. Not knowing that actually it's only the Supreme Personality of Godhead who can deal most affectionately, most tenderly with his devotees. So, this is a very beautiful instruction. Another 5 minutes I will take to wind off. This is another very, just in the life of Dhruva Maharaj, not only this much. Later on, Dhruva Maharaj went and left his kingdom. Prabhupada explains there how kind the Lord is. Narada met Dhruva Maharaj. And it is explained, Narada came to know. How did Narada come to know? This dealing was happening only between mother and son. Narada had no idea. So Prabhupada explains, the Supreme Lord inspires in the heart. He inspired in the heart of Narada that my devotee Dhruva, he has left his kingdom and he wants to search out me. You go and help him, give him guidance. Prabhupada explains this. How the Supreme Lord guides his devotees. He sent another devotee. He sent Narada Muni. to give him appropriate direction. Similarly, we find in the life of Maharaj Parikshit, after he had offended Shamik Rishi and he was thinking, yes, death should come to me, better I should give up this body, I should also get penalized, I should get punished. In the form of punishment, even if death comes to me, I am ready to accept. When Parikshit Maharaj was thinking like this, he was informed of his death. And he accepted it very nicely. We heard in, I think 1 or 2 days before we heard in that class. He took it in a nice way that yes, this death has come as a great blessing so that I will get detached from my family attachment. It is the mercy of the Lord. He accepted it like that. What did he do? Then he immediately renounced his kingdom. Just like Dhruva Maharaj. He also gave up his kingdom and he went in the search of the Lord. Now Parikshit Maharaj renounced everything. And he went. Where did he go? He had no idea. He just went to the bank of Ganges. Immediately the Lord arranged all the great devotees to assemble there. Not only that much, he arranged one of his foremost devotees, Shukdev Goswami, to come and be the guide of Parikshit Maharaj. And actually, it is so wonderful. That is what Parikshit Maharaj is realizing. He is saying, my dear Shukdev Goswami, it is so wonderful. Isn't this an arrangement of the Lord? Isn't this mercy of the Lord? That a great sage like you does not stay for even one night in one place. And now you are going to stay here for 7 days. And you are wandering. No one knows where are you wandering. So isn't this the mercy of the Lord that you have come right at my place? You see. Parikshit Maharaj did not have to go. The Lord arranged Shukdev Goswami to personally go and give guidance to Parikshit Maharaj. He recognizes this. It's a very nice prayer he is saying to Shukdev Goswami. He is saying, Api me Bhagavan Pritaha Krishna Pandu Sutta Priyaha Peitir Swasya Priti Artham. He is saying, Lord Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is very dear to the sons of King Pandu, he is saying, actually, the Lord is very dear to my grandfather, has accepted me as one of those relatives just to please his great cousins and brothers. Actually, because he is very dear to the Pandus, the Lord has accepted me because I am born in their lineage, in their family. And then he is saying, Anyatha te avyakta gater darshanam naha katham nirnam. Otherwise, without being inspired by Lord Krishna, how is it that you have voluntarily appeared here, though you are moving incognito to the common man? Incognito, you are not seen by common man. But now you have appeared here and are not visible to us who are on the verge of death. So for materialistic people who are on the verge of death or whatever, you don't appear to them. But it is all by the mercy of the Lord that you have appeared here to give me guidance about this. So actually we can see that how the Lord arranges for his audience personally, either personally or by sending his pure devotees to give guidance to his devotees. So we'll stop here. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.